Number of athletes that study in the US. Miguel Baidal of Spain inside him. Brian MUSAU. Now, what kind of form is he in? He won the 5,000 meters at the NCAA Indoor Championships in mid-March. He goes to the Oklahoma State University, and he's the youngest man in the field at 18 years old. DEMIRTAS ran a PB of 29 minutes earlier this year. When WANG W of China, 21 years old, from the Tsinghua University. He was 11th 2 years ago. The German Lucas Ehrle, bronze medal in the senior men's classic hill race last December at the European Athletics Off-Road Running Championships. This is going to be a little flatter for him. David MULLARKEY. There's been no British champion in the 10,000 meters, but he has a time that's good enough to suggest he could well be in the reckoning to end that statistic. The man who studies in Arizona. Portugal's Rogério Amaral, another who goes to the US University of South Carolina for the 24-year-old from Portugal. Frenchman Antonin Saint-Pierre, Wingate University, sees his paces on a daily basis, and with European Junior Championship pedigree. He has a teammate at Thomas TERMOTE, also US-based, but in New Mexico. Two Americans on the inside. Dayton Brown, 25 years old, from the Adams State University in Alamosa, and Luke Taylor, 21 years old, who goes to Greenville's Furman University. Both of those Americans at their first major international championships. Three Turkish athletes then. Their compatriot Sezgin Ashtash won silver 2 years ago, but can they upgrade? Off we go then. 25 laps of the track, but will it be quick or will it be edgy, tactical, cagey? We're about to find out. The women's race, well, it was anything but cagey. Well, it looks like it's going to be the edgy and cagey type of race, because they have gone off almost walking. So then, as we were saying early on, two Americans, 9 more who study in the US, 3 Turkish athletes, 2 Ugandans, looking to make sure that this title stays in the East African powerhouse for a 3rd World University Games in a row. Not too much known about the second of the Ugandans, Peter Kasakende, first major championships, who's just come back from a back injury, or back from injury. Seth AKAMPA, we saw him in Chengdu. He ended up being disqualified. I was told that by the Ugandans that he was pace setting there, which might explain that. You're not allowed to really pace set in a major championships. However, he's bounced back from that by becoming the gold medalist at last year's World University Games long course cross-country championships. Goes to the Bishop Stuart University. So whilst the German disappears off in front, we'll take a little break.
Let's have a break from the 10,000. Good time to do it early in the race. And this is Berry of the USA. 11.86 on her second attempt. see if she can improve on that. She's got a best of 13.21, so it could be termed a disaster if she doesn't get over 12, closer to 13. She's just falling away from that shot put to the left-hand side. Now that line is 12 meters, so it's going to be an improvement for Berry. Very disappointing in terms of, you just see the body go left and the shot go slightly right, and that's just the separation of forces. Can't get up, she's just down. That's exactly what's happening. So we're just waiting for that distance to come up. We can say that Berry, and this is Search, and her third attempt, she's only just crept over 11 meters. And Berry ended up with 11.95 on that last round. So Search, her throw. Well, that's over 12 meters for Search. She'll be happier with that, because she was struggling. She led after the hurdles. She dropped back a bit into fifth after the high jump, and until that moment she was dwelling on 11 meters, and she's gone over 12 meters. 12.53, that's an equal PB for the Australian. She'll be smiling a bit more than she would have done had it stayed at 11.5, so she gets the hug. Back to Angus.
Lucas Ehrle is the man who's been taking it out, well, the hardest. Not exactly hard. Nobody else has been interested in going with the man who studies at the University of Mississippi in Oxford, USA. He's got a personal best of 28 minutes 40.28. But the pace going through the first kilometre, 3 minutes, which means they are on 30-minute pace at the moment. It's one of the two Indians that has managed to bridge the gap. That is MATRE, who's in his first major championships, the man who studies at the Institute of Industrial Technology in Bhubaneswar. He's close to breaking 29 minutes when he's on the pace, but like I say, they're about a minute outside that at the moment. They are trying to improve things. They've broken away here. The New Zealander who's gone with them is Toby Gote. He attends the North Carolina State University and is the reigning national champion at 10,000 meters. He was second in the 5,000 as well, and has good strength training done at the cross-country World Championships, the juniors, back in 2019 to build up that strength for this. His personal best under 29 this season, though, just over. And you can see that the others in the behind are just beginning to come back. The two Kenyans just working together to come back.
Palm into the circle for her third attempt. 12.85 in the first round, the Estonian. And that's going to be a slight improvement, I think, for Palm. Got a season's best of 13.10. So we'll be looking to get out towards that mark. Just waiting for that distance. And there you go, 13.01. So an improvement for the Estonian. And Brady coming into the circle after this one for her third and final attempt. 12.08 in the second round. Got a personal best of 13.89, so she's well down on that. This left-handed shot putter, heptathlete from America. Splits the circle just over 12 meters. So it's an improvement, but not connected. A bit like a high jump earlier, where the run-up shows lots of power, but just wrongly connected up through the chain. She stays in, but she knows that she's falling over out of control on delivery of that shot, and that's just the recipe for not being connected to the delivery. Falls back, pulls the pace, just waiting for the distance. It will be an improvement for her, though. 12.12, slight improvement. And we have Sloka of Poland. 11.76 in the first round. down on that left shoulder. You can see the hand goes up, the shoulder goes down, and never the twain shall meet. It could be a slight improvement for the Polish heptathlete, Sloka. .12.33, yeah, that's quite an improvement, but way down on her best. So she moves up the board to 9th in this shot put and back to the track.
They've just gone through 3,000 meters in 8:20 or thereabouts. They're on 72-second pace at the moment, which will get them home in about half an hour. They've just speeded up just a little bit, and that is why the gap to Ehrle, who is the early pace setter, has disappeared. He's been overtaken by the young Kenyan, the youngest man in the field, Brian MUSAU. Looks like he's got his teammate behind him as well. Dangerous British athlete David MULLARKEY is also now moving to the front. He ran 27:51.80 to be the fastest in the field. He's had 2 PBs at 5,000 meters in addition to that 10,000 meters PB that he set, finishing 3rd at Stanford in California. But that was all the way back in April. Collegiate system very heavy through the spring. Now coming into the summer. World Championships around the corner. Although they're late this year, they're in September. Usually we would already be getting ready for them now. Sort of in the early August, but you can understand why it's in September in Japan with the heat and humidity that you suffer over there. I remember going over there in 2007 to Osaka, and it was unbearably hot and humid. I don't know how the 10,000 meter athletes managed to get around. That was the race in which the legendary Tiruneš Dibaba, the multiple Olympic and world champion, fell over during the race. 30 meters behind, still came back and won at the end. It was an astonishing piece of running in really awful conditions for distance running. Seth AKAMPA, I think, who's following the Kenyan through, the Ugandan from the Bishop Stuart University.
Fevara Band of Germany, 3rd and final put in this women's heptathlon shot put round. 3rd event of 7. Steps across, ends up going down. It's over 12 meters. She's got a best of 14.04, and she won't be anywhere near that, and that's why the face doesn't look. Now she starts to go forward because of that technique. She steps, body gets ahead of the feet, and she ends up with a putt that's less than she intended. 12.93 first putt, back to Angus.
Change at the front again. It's the American Dayton Brown who's now gone to the front in his first major championships. He's having a really good year, advancing his times in distances 1,500, 5,000 and the 10,000 meters. His best now at the longer distance, approaching 28 minutes. Americans have had some great runners through the years. Bernard Lagat, the former Kenyan, one of the greatest for them, and it's a current Kenyan, Kelvin CHEPSIGOR, who has overtaken the American to go into the lead. Brian MUSAU still there. Kenya 1 and 3 at the moment, with MULLARKEY of Great Britain in 4. The Portuguese Rogério Amaral behind them. And you can see from leading the race, the German athlete Lucas Ehrle has now been dropped off the back of this large lead group. That lead group is about to overlap and overtake Abhishek Devkate, the 22-year-old Indian who goes to the Shivraj University in Kolhapur in India. He's not quite, though, in the class of the men who are sprinting past him. The pace continues to quicken. 11:47.34 at the last intermediate time check at 4,000 meters. Heading towards a 29.5-minute pace now, if they can keep this going all the way. There's the second Briton, Isaac HIRSHMAN Chandler, 22 years old, who goes to the University of Birmingham in Great Britain, I hasten to add, not in the US. We have a number of US-based runners who are not American, but he's not one of them. So then the first move to the front for the other British athlete, David Mullarkey, will have seen himself as the favourite coming in here. Great form being shown this season. Only he and Wang W of China have gone underneath 28 minutes. Both of them having done it this year. Wang still keeping his powder dry, the Chinese from the Tsinghua University in Beijing. He's looking to improve on his 11th place finish from 2 years ago, where he watched Dismas Yeko, Sezgin Atas and Yuito Yamamoto of Japan stand on the podium, whilst he was outside the top 10. Little look at the screen that is over on that far side by the British athlete, just seeing how things are going. On the first night, it was right from the gun that Clara Lucan of Slovenia started to break the wills of the opponents behind her. Tonight it's taken the men a little bit longer to start going. I wouldn't say they've really lit the touch paper yet. Mullarkey feels like he's had enough and has just backed off a little bit. Happy just to sit on the shoulder of the new leader in this race, who is CHEPSIGOR. He's only got a personal best of 29.5 minutes, the 24-year-old who goes to the Kisi University. Through they go, 11 laps to go in this 25-lap race. Halfway was reached in about 14:40. We'll keep going like this and they will be faster than 29.5 minutes. Little skip off there by the American Dayton Brown. There is a drink station for this 10,000 meters. I have to say, I didn't notice one on the first night for the women. Well, the lead is swapping over. This time, it's the Spaniard, Miguel Baidal, who has decided that he needs to go to the front. Bronze medalist at the 2023 European Under-23 Championships, and also silver medalist at last year's World University Games cross-country championships as well. Well, having got his drinks into his body, the American Dayton Brown feels sufficiently nourished to have another go at the front. However, the pack are not going to let him break away now. 10 laps to go after this lap. 4,000 meters to go. It's building up into a pretty good race, and there's still a dozen men in that lead group. There's MULLARKEY, very compact, upright style, just tracking the two Spaniards in front of him. Going down to a single file, which is a sign that the pace is just getting quicker still. Dayton Brown with a 3:47 personal best in the 1,500 meters shows that he's got some decent speed. 5,000 he improved to 13.5 minutes as well, which is a very good time. And his PB on the 10,000 meters almost down to 28 minutes. Full of confidence, full of running, still going. And through 6,000 meters in 17:36. Going down into the low parts of the 29-minute 10,000 meters now, as they push and push and push, winding this up steadily. Two Spaniards going well. Mario PRIEGO, we haven't talked about yet. He goes to the United States collegiate system, Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond. He was 20th in those World University Games cross-country championships last year. Just over half an hour. He's had experience at the European Juniors at both the 5 and the 10. And he's following his more experienced teammate, Miguel Baidal, very intently. Past another of the stragglers. Eight laps to go. The number 12 that you saw there, CHEPSIGOR, still looking strong. Feels like they've just backed off a little bit though, even though the American Dayton Brown is still in front. Everybody looks comfortable at the moment in that pack. AKAMPA is the Ugandan that's in there. He's around about 8th at the moment in the yellow vest of Uganda. Uganda rising power force, challenging the dominance of Kenya and Ethiopia at the Olympic Games and the World Championships with the likes of Joshua Cheptegei. But not only him, he's the great leader, but others also banging on the door. There's another kick, it's stretched them out once more. And now for the first time, we see Wang W, the other man under 28 minutes, shows his hand at the front and injects a burst of pace. It's another lap runner they're going to have to negotiate their way round. Wang W doesn't look the most comfortable of runners, sweating profusely. But he knows he's one of the fastest in this race. And if he can keep this going, then he knows that some of the others don't have the personal best times to be able to challenge him. It is a good night for running tonight. There's a little bit of a gentle breeze. It's a cooling breeze as well. That's a Ramazan BASTUG, two-time Turkish champion, Most of his international experience has been in cross-country, but he's gone to the front now and is immediately followed by MULLARKEY. Took the lead early on when he felt that it wasn't going fast enough. Dropped back again into the pack, and now he's back on the shoulder of the Turkish athlete. Another man showing his hand for the first time, the Frenchman Antonin Saint-Peyre, 22-year-old who goes to the Wingate University. There he is in the hat. Just seeing that young Kenyan, 18-year-old Brian MUSAU tried to go around the outside of him, but it's still BASTUG. Another man who has had PBs at 3 different events, 5,000 and 10,000 meters on the track and 10K on the roads. A little bit of a struggle, it seems, at the moment for TERMOTE, the other Frenchman in the race. BASTUG taking them through 8,000 meters in 23:19. Things are really fastening up. On course for a 29-minute finish now, having started off at a 30-minute pace at the beginning of the race. A mile to go, the metric mile or so, between these runners and a gold, silver and bronze, or nothing. 8 runners with 3 medals up for grabs. Still BASTUG. But even though he's taken them out, the others looking comfortable at the moment, with the exception of the Chinese, but he's looked like that for the entire race, so it's hard to measure how he's feeling. It's good track discipline. Back marker moving out of the way, that's nice. It's the way it always used to be in 10,000 meter running. And they're about to come up to the other Turkish runner, DEMIRTAS, who's also moved out to let his teammate come through on the inside, as well as the others. A few Turkish fans in here, very keen for a Turkish victory. Still looking strong, Kelvin CHEPSIGOR, the 24-year-old Kenyan, as they go through the finish line again with 3 laps to go. But the 18-year-old Brian MUSAU is looking ominously comfortable there. He's in around about 4th or 5th place. Antonin Saint-Peyre is beginning to suffer as well now. He's beginning to drop off. We're losing one of the Spaniards too, and even the Chinese, one of the 2 favourites, WANG W is looking like he might be struggling too. He's just on the back and desperately trying to hang on. Relentless pace being put in now by Ramazan BASTUG. Very comfortable though, right behind him, looking right at his ankles, David MULLARKEY. There is the Frenchman, Saint-Peyre. He has a look around him. Well, he looks back, which is a sure sign that he's feeling the heat. Still testing them though. Is Ramazan BASTUG. 800 meters now until the end. A very different race to the one we saw in the women's race, where the medals were split into 2 groups, 2 athletes fighting for gold, 2 for bronze. Here, everything is up for grabs in this lead group. BASTUG, MULLARKEY, CHEPSIGOR, Mario PRIEGO in there too. WANG W, and of course the youngster Brian MUSAU. Kenya with 2 chances here. The Ugandans have disappeared, so there'll be a new nationality on the top of the podium at this World University Games. Coming up to the bell. No one has lit the touch paper yet. Surely it's going to happen. But the big news here is the Chinese, WANG W has dropped off the back as they sprint towards the line. And Museau hits the front for the first time in the race as the bell sounds. MULLARKEY behind him. And now Bastug drops into third, now fourth. He's overtaken by the other Kenyan, CHEPSIGOR. Look at the ease on the face of the teenager. Prodigious talent from Kenya, but running for his US university as well. MULLARKEY is the only man who seems to be able to go with MUSAU. It's between these two, it seems. CHEPSIGOR has gone. So too has PRIEGO. So it's down to these two. MUSAU, MULLARKEY, sprint for the line. It's going to be the youngster who takes it. What a victory this is for 18-year-old Brian MUSAU from the Oklahoma State University. What a brilliantly constructed race. David MULLARKEY, a silver medal for Great Britain and for the Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. What a cracking race, a hug between first and second. MULLARKEY came in with the fastest time, but he'll be going home with the second highest medal. Still, he seems pretty happy. The Kenyan flag, well, it wouldn't be a major championships in the distance races without a Kenyan flag somewhere. And the bronze medal for Spain. Mario PRIEGO. It's a collegiate 1, 2, 3, even though they represent different countries. The Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond will be celebrating too. Others coming in, a roar for the German Lukas Ehrle, who tried to take it out hard at the beginning but soon disappeared back into the pack. Hard to believe this, but it's only the third time that a Kenyan has won this title. The great Julius Kariuki won it in 1989, the last time that these university games were on German soil in Duisburg. And then John Kanye won in 2001. But this time, yes, get the right man in the middle, because your champion for 2025 is an 18-year-old upstart called Brian MUSAU. Well, it was a race that got off to a fairly leisurely start. The 29 runners running themselves into it, with the exception of the German, Ehrle, who decided he would go off hard. Nobody thought he was much of a threat, so they let him go. You can see there all the front runners who were trying to win this, looking down at the ground rather than at the leader ahead of them. It's Coach Kua. The saw there MUSAU. East African rivalry never really happened in the end. The Ugandans disappeared down, so no third World University Games gold at 10,000 meters in the last 4 editions. But it was a great sprint. Look how easy MUSAU looks, coming down there after 25 laps. Real enjoyment. And when you're 18 years old, you know no fear. You have no nerves, I guess. And he ran that absolutely spectacularly well. I told you it speeded up. The winning time, 28 minutes, 42 seconds, 39 hundredths. He beat the Briton, Dave MULLARKEY, by just 500ths of a second at the end of a 10,000 meters. PBs for Mario PRIEGO, in third, and indeed for the second Kenyan in fourth, Kelvin CHEPSIGOR, who ran 28 minutes 46.45. Well, he won the indoor race, the 5,000 at the NCAA's Indoor Championships in mid-March, but this is the global title. And by the looks of it, could well be the first of quite a few to come, if he develops the way that it looks as though he might.
Woo, so beautiful. Goal.
Yes. Returns the flag and he'll head off to doping. And then after that, he'll be free to enjoy the spoils of his well-earned victory. That's Abhishek Devkate finishing, the 22-year-old.
Hey! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Well, that's very generous by the Ugandan. Coach, I'm sure that's the Ugandan coach wearing the yellow of Uganda, surely.
Yeah! Kenya! Ah! Kenya! Hey!
He surely must be Kenyan. I can't believe a Ugandan would cheer like that for a Kenyan victory. Here comes the other Indian. He's got one more lap to do. That's Trilok Kumar from the Lalit Narayan Mithila University in Dabanga in India. He's a man who has set a personal best this year at 10,000 metres, the 23-year-old running 23, 29, 18, 25. He actually looks quite comfortable at the pace that he's going at. Oh, may have spoke too soon. Well, it's clearly not been his night, because he's a long, long way short of what his PB was posted on the start list. It's a good job that we weren't having this championships last week, John, because last week the temperatures were well up in the air. It's been relatively comfortable. It's been very comfortable temperatures for athletics so far this week. We've managed to avoid the worst of the storms. And a big cheer for Kumar as he approaches the line and finishes in 36 seconds dead. So that completes the 10,000 metres. Last man home, Trilok Kumar then. And there is the results. Brian MUSAU, a wonderful victory for the 18-year-old ahead of David Mullarkey, who was the fastest in the field coming in and gets silver. And Mario PRIEGO makes it a collegiate 1-2-3. United States universities taking a sweep of the podium, even though the runners on it will represent 3 different countries. So Peter Kaskende didn't start. He told us that he was injured, and that's it for the track.